Some storms don't knock you down with one violent gust or a single thunderclap. They arrive through duration, rain, wind, and time. And then, in just a few minutes, you realize you're out of options. The familiar road becomes a flooded barrier. The train you were sure would run stops. And the coastline you once stood on to watch the waves becomes the last place you should be standing too close to. Storm Ingrid was that kind of storm. Welcome to Global Weather Disasters. Here we tell these events with clear timelines and reliable information, but more importantly, we talk about what it feels like when nature takes away your choices, in just a few short minutes. Before Ingrid reached the United Kingdom, it had already been identified as a deep Atlantic low and named by Portugal's National Meteorological Service. One key marker was around 9 p.m. UTC on January 22, 2026. The system was described as intense, with very low central pressure, the kind of setup that often comes with strong winds, prolonged rain, and rough seas. But what made Ingrid more dangerous wasn't only strength, it was timing. It arrived when many areas were already soaked from days of earlier rain, when the ground was already close to saturated. Across parts of England and Wales, the most important time marker was the official weather warning. From 2 a.m. UTC Friday, January 23rd, to 9 a.m. UTC Saturday, January 24th, 2026. Within that window, the risk picture was clear. Prolonged heavy rain, strong winds, the potential for flooding, and transport disruption across multiple systems, roads, rail, even ferries, while coastal routes faced sea spray and large waves. In other words, this wasn't weather that turns bad for a moment and then passes. This was weather that forced you to live inside it for hours. Ingrid didn't need one dramatic moment to cause damage. It only had to last long enough. At first, it looked like an ordinary wet day. Slick roads, wind-driven rain, a few growing puddles. But then the small signs appeared. The things that rarely make headlines: water draining more slowly, puddles deepening, surface flow showing up on stretches of road that are usually dry. This kind of disaster doesn't shout. It grinds. It slowly drains the capacity of drainage systems, the ground, and eventually, people's plans. When rain keeps falling, the most trustworthy thing isn't how it feels outside your window. It's the live warning systems. In England, the official flood portal updates warnings and alerts by location. Wales has its own flood warning system. And in Scotland, the Environment Agency runs public flood information and risk maps. The point is this: floods rarely arrive all at once. They rise in steps. And those steps often show up first in official updates, long before your instincts catch up. One detail that captured Ingrid's real-world impact was the rail line between Liskeard and Looe in Cornwall. The line was closed after heavy rain flooded the track, and that wasn't the end of it. High tides pushed water levels near several bridges above safe operating thresholds, forcing inspections before services could return. It sounds technical, but for people on the ground, it's deeply human. You stand at the station, staring at the board, and you realize that today, no matter how hard you try, your plans simply won't happen. During storms, coastlines draw attention because the visuals are powerful. Crashing surf, white spray, relentless wind. But when there's a warning for sea spray and large waves, that's not filler language. It's a warning about a kind of danger that doesn't give you time to correct a mistake. One overtopping wave can soak a road in seconds. Sea spray can blind a driver instantly. Debris carried by water can turn a coastal path into a high-risk zone. Sometimes you don't get hurt because you stood too close. You get hurt because you stood in the wrong place, at the exact moment the sea crossed the line. In Scotland, heavy rain led to flooding in multiple areas, and there were cases where people became trapped and needed rescue. And here's what matters. Flood accidents often don't happen when the water is already raging. They happen when the water still looks just manageable, when you're bargaining with yourself. It's only a few meters. My car is high enough. If I go fast, I'll get through. But water doesn't negotiate. It hides the true depth. It hides potholes and open drains. And sometimes one dip in the road is all it takes for a vehicle to lose grip. Then, within minutes, every good option disappears, and all that's left is waiting for help. Ingrid became dangerous because three factors stacked together: prolonged rain, strong winds, and already saturated ground. When the ground is full, new rain can't soak in. It runs across the surface, pours into low spots, and pushes drainage systems toward their limit. Strong winds raise travel risk, and rough seas turn coastal areas into places where small errors become big consequences. So you might see a moment where the rain doesn't look extreme, but the impacts keep growing hour by hour. The lesson from Ingrid is simple, but it's life-saving. Don't wait until everything is obviously dangerous before you act, because in floods and storms, obvious often arrives at the same time as too late. If there's a warning, adjust your plan one step earlier. If a road is flooded, don't drive through it, even if it looks shallow and short. If the coast is under strong winds and large waves, step back farther than you think you need to. If this video helped you stay calmer and smarter in extreme weather, please like and subscribe to Global Weather Disasters and share it with someone who lives near low-lying roads or the coast. Sometimes the right reminder at the right time can save you from those helpless minutes. Stay safe, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next video.